Hello and welcome to the Cheers Registry Training Series. In this video, we'll be covering the general navigation of the Cheers Registry. To get started, you'll want to go to cheers.org and in the upper right-hand corner, click on Sign In. You'll then enter the email and password for your user account and then click Continue. Logging into the registry will take you directly to the Sites page. On this page, we list all of the individual sites that you are a member of. We do provide a couple of options for you to filter and search from this list because, as you can imagine, it can get quite long. And so we'll cover those here first. So at the top of the page in the left-hand corner, you'll see our filter. So the default is just to show you all sites. We are going to limit it to the most recently accessed 100 sites. If there's more than that, they'll just fall off the end of the page. But we do present you with the most recently accessed site at the top of the list in descending order. If you want to filter further, you can click on the down arrow here and you can select from all sites, residential alteration sites, residential custom homes, and non-residential sites. You can also apply a community filter, which will only show you sites that belong to a specific community. Here in this list, again, we provide you with the most recently accessed communities for you to select from, and then we also allow you to type in and search for a specific community to add for your filter. The next item that we have here to the right is just your typical search box. So you can type in a partial search or a complete search, and we will return any sites that match somewhat close to the information that you provided. So you'll type in your name there, click on the search button here, and we will return those items in the list. Now to create a site, you'll go over here to the right-hand side. And this button here is going to default to HVAC changeout unless during your current session you have selected a different site type. It will then default to whatever the most recently created site type was during this session. Now to access the complete list, you'll move over to the right a little further, select the down arrow, and we'll present you with a list of options to choose from. So the first four items are in the addition or alteration category, and they include an HVAC changeout for a single family dwelling, HVAC changeout for multiple dwellings. So this is if you have a multi-family type building. The code does require a individual Alto 2 form for each dwelling, and so this tool allows you to create those Alto 2 forms very quickly. Next, we have a performance plan. So this is if a CF1R perf has been created, you would import that plan through this link here. And then last is non-residential. The next category we have is new construction. We have custom homes. So these are individual new homes that are going to be built that have a performance 1R. We have communities. This is going to be for production builders where they're going to be building multiple homes off of individual CF1Rs. And then last we have, again, non-residential for new construction. Well, once you create your site, it will be added to this list. It will be at the top of the list as long as you don't have any search criteria listed here. And this will present you with some basic information about that site, the address and city where it's located. If you gave it a name, and again, the name can be whatever you want, anything that you want to use to identify that. To access that site, you'll simply click anywhere on this row, and that will open up your site details. Now here to the left, we have a couple of actions that you can take for sites that have documents completed. You can either download the documents or you can send the documents. Now both of these features are available within the site itself, within site details. This is just a secondary location where you can access that without actually clicking into the site. Over the right hand side, we do provide a status, and for sites we have 4 different statuses. The first one is compliance. and that indicates that a CF1R has been created but has not been signed. Installation means that a CF2R has been created but is not signed. Verification indicates that a CF3R has been created but not signed. And then finally we have complete, which means that all documents have been completed. So that brings us to the end of our Sites tab. We will go into site details in a separate video, so go ahead and keep an eye out for that, and I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of this video here. So the next tab that we have to look at is sample groups. So we'll click on that, and that will take us into our sample groups page. Now, just like our sites, we do have, again, filters that you can apply, as well as a search box where you can search for the information for that particular sample group. You can search either by the name for that particular group, or you can search the addresses that are contained within that group. Either of those will bring up that sample group as a result for you to select. Now, two other pieces of information that we do provide here. Again, just like sites, we provide a status, but for sample groups, there's only two. The sample group is either going to be incomplete or complete. The next is the type of group. So there are two sample group types. There are closed sample groups and open sample groups. And then in parentheses, we list the number of sites that are in that group. So this particular open group only has 2 sites in it, where this closed group has 4 sites in it. The incomplete means that while the group has been assembled, the test data for the CF3Rs has not been entered or has not been completely entered. So once that is done, then it will go to that complete state and it'll be locked and you will not be able to edit any further. And just like sites, you click anywhere on the row that's highlighted. You can see these highlights separately, and that will open up the sample group screen where you can then modify and address those different lots within that sample group. Again, we're going to cover that in more detail in a separate video. Moving to the next group here, next tab, we have our communities. Communities is laid out a little bit differently. We don't have any filters. We do just have the search box, and you're going to search for the community name, or you can search for the builder for that particular community. Again, this list is going to show you the most recently accessed, and you can type in a partial search field, and we'll present you with any results that closely match that. And again, just like sites and sample groups, clicking anywhere on the highlighted row will open up that community for you to work with further. Further to the right, we have 2 options for creating a community. The first one is if you have a plan that you need to import, you can simply click on Import Plan. That will allow you to either select from an existing community or to create a new community from which you want to import those plans. Your other option is you don't have plans yet, but you want to create that community. You can go ahead, just click on Plus Community, and that will allow you to create that community, which you can then add plans to and work with at a later date. We're going to go back up to the top here now and move over to the left, and you'll see we have this little bell icon, and that is our alerts section. So we have several alerts from which you can select to be notified of various actions that have occurred within the registry. So to see what options you have to select from, we're going to come over here to the right where you see settings, and this will show you those alerts that you can select from. So the first one is if you or your company has been added to a project. Next is a request has been made for you to complete a document. Next is a new account has been requested. A new project comment has been posted. A document you assigned or edited has been completed. A user has approved your signature authority request, or a user has requested signature authority from you. Now, these alerts come in 2 different styles. The first one is a web alert, and that's what we're looking at right now. The other one is you can also choose to receive an email of that same alert in a slightly different format. Now, in order to receive an email alert, you must have the web alert selected. If I deselect that, you can see that I can no longer select that email for that alert. So if I turn the web alert back on, I can now choose to receive an email alert as well. So we're going to go back to our alerts. So we'll click on alerts right here. And this is just a list of various alerts that we've been signed up for items that we've received. Now these are typically going to contain two different actions that you can select from. You can select go, and that will take you directly to whatever that alert is about. If it's that you've been added to a project, it's going to take you directly to that project because you'll likely need to work within that project. If you've been assigned a document to complete, clicking on go will take you directly to that document so you can work with it further and then sign it. If you've already been working on the document and it's ready to sign anyways, you've already reviewed it, you can simply click on sign and that will allow you to sign that document directly. These same tools are available in the email alert that you get, and so you can simply just click on the links in the email. It'll log you into the registry, take you to that project, that document, whatever it is you need to work with so that you can quickly access it, do what you need to do, and get out of the registry. So last, we're going to move up here to the upper right-hand corner, and this is where your account information is going to be located. Now, depending on what type of account you have, you may have access just to the user account information, or you may also have access to the company account information. This particular user is a primary user, so it has access to both the user account as well as the company account information. And then just to mention while we're here, this will log you out of the registry if you should need to do so. So let's jump into the user account information. And here you'll see some basic information, the name associated with the account, the company that it's associated with, and then the user type. You'll see, as I mentioned, this one is a primary user, so it does have that access to the company account. So we have our user information, again, some basic contact information. If you have any licenses or certifications that you want to list, you can list those there. If you want to have your actual signature show up on any of the documents, you can upload that signature here using the upload button. Best way to do that is get just a blank sheet of white paper and a black pen, sign your name, take a photo with your phone, crop that down to where it has just the signature itself, and then upload that image, and it will be displayed here for you to review. If you're unhappy with it, you can delete it at any time, and the registry will just go back to the default signature-like font as the signature type for the various forms. But if you do have a signature here, that is what will be applied to the various documents when you sign. You can also, if you need to upload a photo, that can be uploaded here as well, and also can be deleted. Now to go back to the main account page, you just simply click on account, and that's going to take you back here. Next, we have our equipment manager. This is for installing contractors and HERS raters that have various pieces of diagnostic equipment that they use to perform various inspections. You can list it here, and then we'll pull that information directly into the forms that use that information, so you don't have to type it in over and over again. So the first two here is going to be for the make and model of your airflow device. The next one is going to be the make, model, and serial number for the manometer and fan. This is for your blower door equipment. And then down at the bottom, we have various dates for either when it was calibrated or when that calibration will expire. And so we have our calibration dates for our refrigerant gauge, our thermocouples, and our manometers, and then an expiration date, which will need to be a date in the future for the refrigerant scales. Going back to account, the next section here is alerts and settings. So we just reviewed those when we were looking at the various alerts. This is another way to access that. Signature authorizations. So this is where you can request or grant a new authorization. And then we also provide you with a list of users that you can sign for and users who can sign for you. And then last, password management. If you need to change or update your password, you can simply click on the link there, enter your current password, your new password, and your password will be updated. Moving over to company account, we're not going to spend a lot of time in here. If you need more information on this, you can reach out to us and we'd be happy to help. But again, basic company information, information on your Find a Pro listing, any job posts that you have, billing information, statements and settings where you can enter your credit card information and make payments and things like that. And then any users that are associated with this particular company. We see we have several of them listed here. You can manage those users. So that brings us to the end of just the general navigation of the Cheers registry. As I mentioned, we do have other videos that go into more detail on these various items, site details and sample groups and working with communities. So if you need more information on one of those, go ahead and look for that video and we'll answer all of your questions there. So thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.